Well, hi, everyone. This is Paul Gillen for IBM Engine of the Week. And today we're talking with SHOP.CA. It's a retail site that's become the fastest growing retail site in Canada and one of the top 10 most visited Canadian-owned e-commerce sites. And it really is a terrific experience if you want to take a look at it. Relatively recent company, newcomer to e-commerce, but one that's doing a lot with social networking and with customizing the user experience. We're going to talk about that today. With me are SHOP.CA Chief Marketing Officer Mark Daprato and Chief Technical Officer Gary Black. Gentlemen, welcome.
Welcome. Thanks, Paul, for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Guys, I had a chance to spend some time on your site and really impressed by the innovative approach that you take to customer loyalty. Tell us about some of the ways in which you encourage and reward customers for referrals and recommendations.
Sure. So, loyalty is something that's really at the cornerstone of what SHOP.CA is all about, and really that's a reflection of the Canadian consumer. Interesting factoid is that Canada per capita has the greatest number of loyalty program participation in the world, and so Canadians love their frequent flyer programs, their frequent traveler programs, their retailer loyalty programs, and so that was very key for us in designing SHOP.CA. And so we actually combined that with a second factor about Canadians, which is that we love social media. So we are number 2 worldwide in usage of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and other social network sites. So we created something we call the Social Loyalty Network. And fundamentally what that is a way for us to incentivize and reward customers that really contribute to the community of SHOP.CA and also give them incentives in the form of cashback and accelerated cashback for some of those social activities.
And I read that, Gary, you've been quoted as saying the socially referred customers convert at a 10 times higher rate than organic visitors. So tell me how that affects your business.
Yeah, that's a data point that we're very pleased with. Frankly, a bit unexpectedly higher than what we were hoping for. And so what that's really done is maybe change some of the ways that we market to our customers to encourage them even more to share and tell their friends and invite their friends. So the way this program works and what that data point is referring to is if you are a member of SHOP.CA and you tell your friends about us, and we give you very easy ways to do so. You can tell your friends on Facebook or through email or through your Gmail and Yahoo email accounts. Anytime those friends come and sign up and make a purchase, you get a fairly significant dollar value reward back for use against your future purchase. And when we look at our site, when we see just a random visitor coming to our website, that person converts at X. When we see a person that's been on the site before, that person converts at 2 times X. When we see a person that has made a purchase in the past, what we see are those visitors, when they come back another time, convert at 5X. But really surprisingly is when a visitor is socially referred to our site, those inbound leads can convert as high as 10X an organic visitor. And if you think about it, the friend that referred that person, has similar likes, similar interests, similar demographic, is a trustworthy source. And so when your friend is recommending a product or a service, that has a very high degree of trust for you. And so you're more likely to click through and hopefully transact. And that's what we've seen. So, that's really shaping some of our future marketing activities.
And it really testifies to the power of peer referrals and the trust that we place in our friends and our associates. Now, you've also done a lot of groundbreaking work in tailored and personalized marketing. What are some of the things that you do to make the shopping experience personal and enjoyable?
Yeah, so I think there's a number of things that we've done, and Gary and I work together every day talking about different ideas that we can deploy, and we have new ideas, new things rolling out all the time. Some of the key things that we do are really around we understand the purchase behavior and the browsing behavior of the folks visiting SHOP.CA. And what we do is we really try to make sure that our email experience, the onboarding experience, the welcoming experience, we try to customize as much as we can to them. So there's a few examples. So if you've earned rewards, we really take great steps at every step of the way via email communication or on the site to make sure that you really see what rewards you've been earning, so that you're personally engaged in getting to make the most of your shopping experience. If we look at browsing behavior, where you've been looking at information or products that you're most interested in, we really feel, and customers have told us this, that relevancy is the most important thing for them. So we try to tailor the email communications the best we can to that front. We try to make sure that when we're messaging them in some of our social channels and some of the other ways that people interact with us, we're showing them products that they have seen before or products that are similar, so that they can really see what those are like. So they can see the products they're most interested in. We also have some site technology that we're using, where we really show people what it is that if they've been browsing a certain category, certain products, we make sure we're bringing those right to the top of the funnel for them to see those products and get a chance to see that we have other stuff that is of like interest for them, and really give them that chance. We have lots of other ideas and different ways that we've been considering in terms of other ways that we can even restructure some of the ways that people interact with our pages. So there's lots more fun stuff to come on that front.
You mentioned email marketing, and I know that you're doing some personalized email promotions using IBM Live Mail. Now, how granular can you get with this personalization, and can you give us some idea of how effective those personalized emails are compared to the more traditional mass mailings?
Yeah, for sure. It can get pretty granular, and I can look out the window at any time at our CRM lead, and every day he's cutting new segments and new ideas and new ways using this technology. So some great examples would be if somebody has, we take it to the level of if you've browsed or if you've bought, and if you've looked at, basically if you've browsed or bought in a certain area, and we've seen you do that a certain number of times, and we have different thresholds that we set, we will send you different emails based on very specifically on that behavior. So we actually look at if you're really interested in electronics, let's say, and you've shown a propensity to purchase in electronics, not just browse, we're actually going to send you probably a few more electronics emails than somebody who's just browsed. We're going to make sure that we're showing you electronics in that email that are like to the categories that you've looked at in electronics. So if you've been looking at you've been looking at different types of speaker systems, we'll show you different types of speaker systems or complementary products to those speaker systems if you've already bought a speaker system, as an example. When you look at the open rates and the click-through rates of those very personalized emails, they're substantially higher. You can see open rates. You can see open rates of upwards of 60 and 70% on some of those emails, which is higher than the norm on a standard mass market email.
Yeah, I'll say, in fact, the norm is sub 20%, so I'm sure you caught some attention with that statistic. Now, you combed through a massive amount of customer behavior data to create this kind of personalization. Companies that get deeply into analytics often find some surprises, some factors that they didn't expect to influence the purchase decision that, in fact, do influence it. Have you found any surprises?
Yeah, and this is actually very current data that we're analyzing now, and we're actually working with a couple of research institutions. Some large educational institutions are doing some very interesting research on retail big data, and we're participating with that. This is not public yet, but I'll share some insights that are soon to be announced that we found really compelling. And the two data points that were most surprising were really gleaned from some data work where we looked at of our customer data from more than 6 months ago. let's start to segment those customers into all sorts of different cohorts, and let's try and create predictive data elements that predict future purchase. And then we tested those different cohorts against the following 6 months of data to see which actually were in fact predictive and proved the model, if you will. And 2 data points stood out as being highly correlated to predictive of that person making a future purchase. And neither had anything to do with what you might consider to be traditional retail data points of purchase intent prediction. So the one was, how large is that person's friend network? And that friend network specifically is their social network within SHOP.CA. So as you sign up and register, if you sign up through Facebook or you invite friends, that social graph, we're able to analyze how many other friends already exist within SHOP. That metric, your friend size, your universe of friends already in the storefront, was very predictive of your likelihood to make a future purchase. And I think that speaks to what we were mentioning earlier about trust factor, that if you're shopping on a consumer retail site that some of your friends have talked about on Facebook or mentioned or you've heard about through your sphere of influence, that's going to be a place that you likely will make a purchase. And that sort of surprised us how correlated that actually was. The second one was related to writing product reviews. And again, a bit counterintuitive that writing a product review, generally you're doing that in the past. So I purchased something in the past and I'm going to write a review on it now that I have it. But the fact of writing a review actually became quite predictive of that person making a future purchase. And so those are 2 data points that only really came out of this pretty sophisticated cohort analysis that we're now getting into in our customer base.
Yeah, you would think that someone who writes product reviews is invested in the purchase decision, so maybe would have a stronger brand identity. Wouldn't you think so? That stronger identity with Shop.ca?
For sure, that they're an engaged consumer, but again, most of the data there would presumably indicate a past purchase that they're writing the review on, as opposed to a predictor of an upcoming purchase, and it's the latter that we saw, which was surprising. But certainly, that's an example of a customer for us that's very valuable. They're contributing to the community. They're obviously purchasing product. And so back to our initial topic on the social loyalty network, those are customers that have the ability then, as they do more of that activity, to earn our loyalty rewards faster.
Let's talk about shopping cart abandonment. It's a huge problem for online retailers, and I understand you have taken some innovative approaches to dealing with that. How are you reducing abandonment rates?
Yeah, so we're undertaking probably the most significant thing we've been doing is abandoned cart emails, where we really look, as we talked about earlier, some of the abandoned behavior, and really analyzing that and looking at where folks are at. And in this case, obviously, we're looking at the cart. We've been deploying quite successfully abandoned cart emails that are relevant to folks. We're doing that generally within about a 24-hour window. We're working daily to get that actually to be a much shorter window. We've definitely seen the data that shows that you want to get that abandoned cart email out within a 2 to 4 hour window of the cart being abandoned. The other thing that we've actually been playing with in that is also looking at different sort of cross-sell merchandise that could be included within that abandoned cart, so that we can show people that, if they abandon for one reason or another, let's make sure that they see other opportunities that were also there, so that we can keep them engaged and interested if they so choose.
Now, looking through your product pages, I see that you have share buttons on all of your product listings. Not all that unusual in e-commerce sites these days, but I understand that you're going beyond that simple sharing utility to actually capture and apply sharing data to the customer experience. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so certainly for us, the share button is more than just a share button. First of all, sharing within our site we take an approach of a broadcast share or a syndicated share, so that with a single click I can message out to Facebook, to Twitter, to LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, email, other social networks, and have a broadcast share. The other thing that we do is all of those shares are personalized, again, from a rewards perspective, so that should any of my friends make a purchase on a product that I shared, I will get 1% of the value of that product back in a cash reward for use on SHOP.CA. So there's a financial incentive to being a socially engaged customer, and we're now applying that share concept beyond just the product page to category pages, some of the events that we are running now, and it's fun to see our customers sharing these on Facebook, and the the inbound links that we get, and we can track and measure the volume of activities that come into the website through some of these product shares.
So really kind of an evolution of the affiliate marketing idea. Now, the reason we're talking to you is because you are a customer of IBM Smarter Commerce Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about what about that option when you were starting the company and choosing your back end? What was it about the Smarter Commerce Solutions that attracted you most?
Sure. So the first, and we actually run multiple solutions within that suite here at SHOP.CA. The first one that we began with was the core e-commerce platform, which is WebSphere Commerce. And really the thing that attracted us the most to that was just its proven capability to scale and grow a very large business based on a very large product catalog. And SHOP.CA is at its roots a multi-merchant marketplace. And what that means is we have hundreds of supplier relationships representing thousands of brands and millions of products, and so our product catalog is a very large one. And our ability to onboard new suppliers and new products has to be very efficient, fast, streamlined, and scalable. And there are weeks where it's not unusual for us in a given week to onboard 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 products. In fact, there was a supplier a few weeks ago we onboarded to the marketplace that brought with them 150,000 products. And to put that in perspective, a typical big box retail store, a physical bricks and mortar store, that big box store may have 30,000 SKUs in it. And so on a weekly basis, we can be adding multiple big box stores size product catalogs onto SHOP.CA. So scalability, performance, reliability, were the first things that we started to consider, and that ultimately led us to WebSphere Commerce Server.
Yeah, and you really cast, that's a dramatic example of the difference between an e-commerce company and a traditional retailer. I understand another of your criteria in choosing a solution was the speed of deployment. And how have the IBM solutions performed in that respect?
Yeah, I think to be honest, we probably surprised a lot of people, including some folks that are very close to WebSphere Commerce. It is a very large product. It's got a ton of feature capabilities, yet we found it, with a relatively small team, we onboarded that platform and went live within about a 6 to 7 month period. And that was going live with a multi-million product SKU catalog, with one of the largest e-commerce launches in Canadian history. And so we did that in about a 7 month period with a very small team in-house. And I think that's a testament to the ability of that platform to get up and running very quickly, and the completeness of the solution that we were provided.
Of course, downtime is death. In your area, how have IBM solutions performed in respect to availability?
Yeah, very, very pleased with that. Over the past now almost 2 years that the e-commerce site has been live, the amount of downtime is minimal, and frankly, the bulk of what we have had when we've had it is our own maintenance of adding new features and doing upgrades to the marketplace and the storefront, where we've had to take that off while we do those updates. The core platform is very reliable. you know, that's one of the hallmarks of that platform, and the back end database servers and so forth from IBM that we deploy on. So it is a very reliable platform.
Well, tell us about the technology infrastructure that underlies SHOP.CA, and specifically interested in whether cloud computing or cloud infrastructure has a role in your current or your future plans.
Yeah, so the short answer is it does. It's there now. We have on our storefront, you know, in addition to IBM's set of technologies, other third-party companies that we rely on. Almost all of them are delivered through the cloud. Our core data center is 100% virtualized in a private cloud, and so you know that's really been one of the differentiators launching SHOP.CA when we did versus if we had have done that 5 years ago. The number of really great technology companies that are cloud-based is, you know, it's really staggering today. And so that's been a key factor in our ability to scale and grow our business and launch new capabilities quickly. And so we're very heavily leveraging cloud technology, virtualization technology, software as a service, etc.
Well, gentlemen, final question is, what question didn't I ask? Is there any other message you'd like to leave our audience about SHOP.CA and where you go from here?
Yeah, I think, you know, Gary's done a great job talking about the different technology, and we've talked about a lot of the great things that have you know been the hallmark of our launch and you know our first couple of years. But I think the thing that gets us most excited is our ability to work with great partners to really bring amazing things forward to the Canadian consumer. Everything that we do and every morning that we get up and every decision that we make in this place is really designed about making sure that we can create the best customer experience possible and really bring, you know, an online marketplace in an exceptional way to the Canadian consumers. And I think every day we're just going to keep learning and tuning and using the technology, the tools, and the spirit that we've got to really drive a great Canadian e-commerce experience.
And customer experience is what makes the difference these days. Mark Daprato and Gary Black, thank you so much for spending some time with us today, and continued good success with SHOP.CA.
Thank you very much.